All right, day 26. Hallelujah, the hell week of writing slides and presenting them is at its end. I've got one more presentation to do, and that'll be another 40 minutes Thursday morning. It's one of these guys right here. I did that one yesterday, and I'm doing this one tomorrow morning. And I realized that after going crazy writing slides and even a slide development platform, which is a good demo for Rook, yeah, that kind of burned me out and it pulled me away from Rook way too far. So today I'm going to connect back to Rook. I'm going to brainstorm a little bit because the very problem I thought I was solving with Rook seems distant after having spent a week and a half away from it. Lesson learned. And then I'll solve the problem. All right. Heads down, boring stuff. You guys don't need to see that. Rook is in a bit of disrepair. Those are the two big questions. What is the problem that Rook solves? Several. I'll outline them a little bit. Oh, what was the other thing? Oh. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Ay, 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 ay. These are all interrelated ideas as well. All right. Get some water and then I'll explain. So, BYOA is bring your own agent. I presented some stuff on this a couple of days ago. It made a really nice LinkedIn post. It was one of the first pieces of content I pulled out of these crazy live streams and shoved over back that direction again. That was kind of cool. But the idea is that there's a lot of websites online that have like an agent that works there, like an assistant, the little thing that pops up in the corner. But do you ever use it? No, not much. Like it's good for looking up quick facts. I mean, it's not bad. But if you're actually doing anything interesting, that thing doesn't have your context. You have your context on your own machine, and it's stepping outside of your workflow to jump into that thing's workflow. So the best example of this not working is the GitHub Copilot embedded agent. It was a great idea. I got to work on that, but like why would you ever use that as opposed to just using the GH command line tool and pointing your agent to that? You can get every bit as much and more using that tool. Search and issues and projects, just anything. But the thing that would be nice is to jump on the GitHub website, be able to use my agent, bring my own agent, be able to chat with things just like I do with like GH. You take advantage of MCP servers, whatever, but also be able to inject things into the screen. Like I am on GitHub. If I'm talking about an issue, it needs to pop up. It needs to be my concierge that walks me through things. If I pull, if I mark a issue as done, then my agent needs to see that action has changed inside this environment. And it needs to be that me and the agent are working on the same surface together, the same artifacts. So that's kind of the idea for bring your own agent. It's not just GitHub, it's any website, any application that might be beneficial to co-work in, something where you can feel like your pair interacting with the thing. So that's that. The in real life aspect to it is the next logical extension. We have these agents that live in terminals. That's silly. The agents should live in my phone and should connect to everything. Instead of just having typically access to the repo I'm in, it needs to have access to all of the apps, all of the websites, and all of the locations in real life. I want to go to a store and have it know the inventory and layout. I want to go to a public park and have a calendar of events. I want to go to some place like a food truck and automatically be able to have the menu items, be able to order stuff, and then it's me and my agent doing stuff. Like a good skill for my agent to have would be like, here's the culinary preferences that John typically has. Look at this menu, figure it out. Something like that. Skill organization. Well, ever since I've started this project, skill organization has been a nightmare. And this probably could be a challenge here. Yeah, the skills Right now, I have skills like agents.mb files in a bunch of repos. I have a bunch of skills that are just kind of scattered everywhere, and I want my skills to be wherever my agent is. I don't want to have to go to a repo and get the repo skills, and I don't want to have globally always on skills too. I want the agent to know what we're working on, enter the environment of work, and have those skills and those skills only. The agent can navigate several environments, but it's always just kind of a changing cast of skills and extra things like that. And right now, it's a mess, especially for me. And finally, this is something that makes the agent I'm working on, Rook, distinct from other agents. Is a lot of times with like OpenClaw and Hermes, I get the feeling that it's not as much a conversation. It's like just throwing crap over the fence, and then does it get it right or does it not? Well, you won't know for a while, and then when it does get it wrong, it's going to be hard to pinpoint. You have to have some in-depth conversations to figure out how stuff went wrong, and rework is expensive too. Well, let's just do the whole honking thing again after the halfway point. So with participatory skill creation, and artifacts is still kind of a different thing. The idea is you work with the agent, you work with Rook on a thing, and then every once in a while you get to a point and you're like, okay, this, our task was to do this. It's something I'll repeat. We're at a good, reflection point. How does this feel so far? Can we update the skill and encapsulate some of these ideas? Once you start participating with an agent, then initially the work is done all by you, as an example, to build the first version of a skill. But the next time you come back to it, the skill is partially fleshed out by the work we've already done and the pattern that was set up. And you just go through a set of steps next time, and you can figure out what is what is good, what is keeper from the skills that you created the previous day or whenever. And eventually you become confident in the agent's ability to do portions of these tasks, and you just start sending them off to him. And the last thing, kind of more related actually to this, is artifacts. The idea of being able to work on a thing with your agent. So I think in the future, one of the predominant user experiences is not going to be going just to a website and clicking on buttons anymore, but it's going to be going to a website with your agent, both of you guys looking at the website and then interacting with the website and getting work accomplished. Part of this can be done with like computer usage stuff, but it's pretty clumsy, and also computer usage does not have access to all of the behind the scenes things that that you need access to, stuff that you'd usually find in LLMs.txt or MCP servers. What are all the APIs associated with this web page? How do you look up information that's not just on the page right now? So I think artifacts, by artifacts I mean you and the agent get to co-work looking on the same surface, doing the same types of things. Challenges to that hypothesis. With the whole idea of Rook, you end up building up basically a environmental repository, a bunch of little places to hang ideas, to hang skills from. But maybe instead of having a bunch of little distinct places, environments that you need to reconnect to, maybe it would be better to have just one big brain to organize everything in. And my vision for this is sticking everything in like a skill for like a multi-skill type thing. Basically, it's an Obsidian vault, a directory full of markdown documents that are hyperlinked. And you can say, this is the entry point for all the typical skills I have, but they're all interconnected. Like one skill might refer to another skill, and that breaks down the barriers and might be quite useful too. For example, when I'm doing content related work, it's a lot of the same stuff over and over, whether it's blog posts or videos. I always have to make social media, always have to post social media. And so it'd be nice to have something that understands how to post. But I don't want to be, just little islands of behavior. Now, maybe the second brain idea and these environments correlate somehow. Maybe they work together. You could have one environment which is like a big brain full of ideas that's and still have a bunch of little isolated environments. And the environments can refer to the environments. Yeah, so there's some, I'm having trouble describing it, but there's some tension, I think, between the second brain idea that's gaining prominence and environments to hang skills off of. I'll have to think about that. Skill reorganization. When I wrote that, I was talking about the fact that now, rather than having a skills file in a particular repository, it's just kind of hanging out somewhere else. Is that okay? Does it need to be attached to a directory? I mean, it can't be if you do in real life environments. You need to be able to attach a skill to your grocery store, your child's daycare. Your child's daycare needs to be able to give you that skill. But you also want to have access to those skills when you're away from that location, that website, and that application, at least sometimes. My child's daycare has a bunch of forms I'm supposed to fill out. Well, I certainly don't want to have to walk into the child's daycare in order to deal with those forms. That would be silly. So the environments need to be kind of like searchable, maybe, by the AI. Hmm. Not having good problems solved is existential. Not meeting some of these challenges is existential as well. Hey, boy.
Can I tell you something?
Sure, what you got? I'm streaming. Not that it matters.
Oh. Then.
Oh, you mean mute it?
Sure.
One moment. Yeah, so these two things really come down to just being able to find the skills when you need it. You've apparently taken time to drop ideas and skills someplace, or like they automatically exist in the ecosystem that you're in. So will you have them when you need them? All right, and the thing that actually gets me to work. What are the blockers? All right, so one issue is that like our notion of environments has been changing. It used to be, what website are you on? What application are you in? What building, physical location are you in? But those things have sub environments too. Like if I'm in VS Code, then it's really also the project that I'm in that's important. Hmm. All right, let me start jotting down ideas as I go. Sup, Doug? Now, why would I need a priest? I'm not dying. Arduous dentistry. I hope your teeth are okay. Go watch The Running Man. Alright, I'm gonna mumble to myself. Pop back in if you're interested. That'd be a good name for a dentist shop, by the way, Doug. Arduous Dentistry. Welcome to Arduous Dentistry. We work really, 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 really hard. You bitch, buckaroo. What's your time box? I've got to go at 3:45. And I probably need a little time to write down whatever awesome things we think of. Man. Okay, someday I'll figure out Zoom. I thought Zoom was open. Gosh, I hate Zoom. Zoom. Hang on a second, I'll figure out Zoom someday. I lost the window where you can actually create new meetings. New meeting. Boop.
Recording in progress.
Hey,
What are you
Doug.
doing? You renewing your vows?
Yeah, I've had a heck of a week, man. Two weeks. I've been told that focus is the only thing that matters, and so I've
Uh-huh.
spent the last 2 weeks writing like slides, and of course, as one often does before they write slides, they write a software platform that allows them to author slides, and then writes the slides using the platform.
That's funny.
So I kind of burned myself out, and I got back into Rook yesterday, and I was like, "Holy crap, what's Rook?"
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Your
So
mind gets wiped by whatever you're doing. It takes a while to reboot the cache.
yeah, effectively. So I kind of scared myself yesterday. I'm gonna give you this document that I'm playing around with. Anyone with a link is now an editor. Copy link. There you go.
Renewing your vows. That's kind of a good time to do this when you're getting back into the project.
Yeah, so do you know what I'm doing with Rook? Maybe I can just brainstorm from first principles since you're here.
Yeah. I remember there's some fun stuff with grocery lists that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay, so just as an exercise, yes, so one of the problems with agents, as I see it today, is you're giving them something to do and kind of tossing it over a fence, and it's really cool that they are capable of this now, but like OpenClaw and Hermes, to oversimplify it, they're just a new way of chatting to a code agent. It just people are finally realizing that code agents can do other stuff, and they don't have to live in a terminal.
Yeah. Right.
So I want to
Makes
jump
sense.
past that, and there's several kind of interrelated problems that I think the substrate will fulfill. One thing is, did you see my bring your own agent thing on GitHub?
I did not. I don't think. Bring your own agent. I saw you posted something.
The idea is I worked on the agent inside GitHub when I was there. Not I did the VS Code one, but also like if you just go to GitHub, I don't know if anyone uses it, but there's a little dude at the top, and it's got search and it's got a lot of fun stuff. But why would you use that if you're in your project and you've got all the context here? You don't want to like copy paste all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think one of the big ways I see user experience changing in the future. And it feels like some of the stuff that we've talked about in the past is where like you are going to a traditional website, traditional software, you can see the buttons and stuff, but also your agent can see it too. And your agent has access to all of the, APIs associated with the website. And the agent can answer questions, but can also interact with the website as you're interacting with the website. If you click on something, it sees that you've clicked on something, and so it maintains context. It can also be a concierge and usher you through the experience. So I think it's a really rich experience that's kind of waiting to happen. And so what I want to do, one of the things I want to do with Rook is bring your own agent. I want this to be an agent that has visibility into third party, and in pretty much any place you go by default, it understands how to use those places. The other thing is just extending that even further into real life, where that's the grocery store thing. Like if I go to a grocery store, my agent is there with me, but also it gets the superpowers of that locale. It knows inventory and aisle layout and all that stuff. If you go to a public park, it knows public parks. It knows their calendar events. It's like anywhere you go, it's a thing that just kind of knows about where you are. And it can help you navigate that.
Yeah.
And maybe the last little bit, and then it's the whole thing of Rook is.
So it's not just your Hermes is like, or your OpenClaw is like almost this disconnected entity from your life off to the side somewhere, maybe causing havoc. Or maybe doing something cool, but Rook might be along for the ride, kind of your sidekick, and
you participate with it. Like the user experience for Rook is more like you're interacting with the thing rather than dropping off tasks to it. You can certainly drop off tasks to it, but it's like usually the way I build a skill anyways is I work with the agent to do a thing, and then I say that was good, we're going to do that later. Let's start a prototype for a skill, and then the next time we do it, I'll just kind of like chip off the broken edges. So that's kind of the final thing with Rook. Any place you go, since it's aware of the location, the environment, I want to be able to say, oh, remember this for later, and the remember this might be like a pure reminder. It might be a to-do list, but it also might be something a little bit more interesting, like let's build a skill that makes sense whenever I'm at the office working on stuff. So
cool.
That's the idea, and I guess maybe that's the first place to throw wrenches, and then I can figure out why it's not moving right now.
I mean, we use the idea of being around a grocery shopping site and interacting with it. I did see, just to throw a wrench, I did see that DoorDash CLI that came out. Which I can't tell if that's, and that will plug into someone's coding agent or whatever. I wonder, does Rook though would interact more when it's not interacting at the CLI level? It's, although it could, it's a coding agent. It's interacting more at the, I see where you are and what you're doing, and let me help you, like almost, I guess, at the browser level or the user experience level. Is that an accurate depiction?
The user experience shouldn't smell much like a code agent, but under the hood, it's got access to curl and APIs in your file system, and so I mean we can use all the cool tools we've learned from coding agents, but it doesn't. I want a CEO to use this thing and be like, oh, this is cool. It's like, summarizing emails and stuff for me.
Cool. The other thing I could see as a competitor would be is maybe kind of what Apple does a little bit. If they got off their butt and Siri stopped sucking. It's so funny. There's a Siri button on my phone. I want to press it and I want to talk to ChatGPT. I don't want to talk to Siri. That's like I want to figure out how to hook that up.
I've had that experience so much.
Yeah. But they do some interesting things, and like some of the Apple Intelligence stuff is interesting. Um, there's a version of what you're talking about that could be that. And what's interesting though, strategically, Apple always does the relatively conservative thing they know will work well, and you could be more open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
Because I suspect Apple's not going to scan your screen and try to do smart things. Apple's going to do some basic. They're going to gradually enhance their experience with tiny things.
They have been the most sluggardly leading company in this whole AI revolution. The only offering they've got right now is they can make emojis that look like poop but with a party hat on. Like you can. That's pretty cool. But why not make Siri work? Okay, so yeah, those are things that could be competitors. But there's like the idea as a whole seems reasonable. Is it seem like it's getting towards a problem that maybe we don't realize we have yet, which is another challenge.
100%.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
think
then
you're probably onto something.
the devil is in the details because basically I've got. Well, you're not looking at my screen. You're just looking at this document, so I won't.
Yeah.
Basically, I've got PyDev agent that has a purple UI. That's and some other like stuff around it that doesn't quite work yet. The devil in the details is the model underlying the goals that I want to hit and how reality is kind of button heads with the model. So check this out. An environment can be an application, website, location. It has to have a unique identifier. So web : the website, Mac : some sort of Macintosh application, location : a location identifier. Even that gets a little bit tricky. Is do we use a canonical version of the address, like the OpenStreetMap version of the address or something? So that gets a little bit tricky. Environments should logically, I think, have sub-environments. Like if I'm at a website, let's see, what's a good one? If I'm working in VS Code, then VS Code is really environment. But if I'm working on a project in VS Code, then is it like VS Code / my project? Or maybe that's just two different environments entirely. I don't know. Where do we get the base skills and stuff? Like whenever you jump into an environment, where do they come from? Like if you go to a website,
you want to basically map, and Rook is actually a map of environment to skill.
Yes,
I think that's the engine of Rook.
Yes, that's the big thing. Being able to really well detect what environment we're in, being able to have it mapped to skills, which is like skills provided by the company, whatever the environment is, or by the community, or just automatically, or by me. I have something I've injected into, like next time I'm at Kroger's, whatever. And then the agent has, which we'll see right now, it's just tons of environments fly by. Like, you know how many tabs you click on in your computer? And so somehow the agent has to opt into the environments that actually make sense for the conversation. And it's a lot of stuff flying by. And and one more thing with environments, some of them don't really break down really well into website, application, location. A lot of them are like just idea. Like when I'm doing content development, I don't want to have to open up a specific directory inside VS Code or whatever. I just want to have, I want to be able to talk to the agent and say, oh, I'm in Obsidian right now, but get out your content environment stuff and help me put together this blog post. So there's like, the very notion of an environment is not solidified yet.
Yeah. My mental model was, it sounds like there needs to be a skills hub
called
So
the environment
your
repository.
environment repository skills hub is, I guess, trademarked. Um, so you're saying the boundaries of environment can be fuzzy because the task I'm doing in VS Code can be extremely open-ended in what I'm doing in it. So therefore, is VS Code with a markdown file a different environment than VS Code? Because essentially, when you get to VS Code, your skills can be basically the set of all Claude skills, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
a coding environment.
Hmm.
Mm.
And environments can overlap. You could be in multiple environments at once. But yes, so sometimes like I would be inside an environment where I'm working on a project in code, and also in an environment that is really aware of, I don't know, video editing stuff. And so like I've got, like in talking to the agent's got to elect to join the right environments. Sometimes I want to join an environment that I'm not near right now. Like maybe my kid's daycare, if we did that, they've got some forms to fill out. Well, I don't want to have to get in my car and like drive to the kid's daycare, so my phone register the skill. So skills also, the agent's going to be like searching through recent nearby, like the idea of relevance for an environment right now is going to be like recency, nearby, and just like semantic relevance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a constant thing in the background going to figure out if we need to show the agent available environments.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to tackle a subset of the problem, because this could be so massive.
Yes, that's probably a good way of thinking of it. What's the most meaningful subset of the problem that I could build this small piece and that would be useful and would not block future pieces from being built?
Well, my initial thought was like website, like a URL or something. I don't know to what extent you compete with agentic browsers. Haven't really used too many of those, so I don't know if they also have their own skills repositories and things. But that's, I mean, you could theoretically have a website that is basic. I mean, GitHub has VS Code as a website, so essentially VS Code is lurking everywhere. But maybe another way to think about it is, don't stress about going that deep into the problem. Let's just literally have a skill that's for a website, and that skill. Well, it's interesting because I wondered, you have skills per a website. So skill is kind of a verb, a thing to do. And so it's really, you go to I'm just gonna say website, but you go to an environment and there's a menu of skills that pop up that you have to, that you can optionally do, right? And the challenge is at the VS Code place, literally there could be 10,000 skills. And some of them you care about and some of them you don't care about probably. But versus if you went to like your grocery store, maybe there's some skills that are a more constrained set that you're not going to be overwhelmed by.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might just need to build it and see what happens.
I know. Yeah. Quit talking and build it. That's a good idea.
Brandon Sanderson was saying, what does he do when he gets writer's block? He says he like either takes a day off or he writes a bad version of what he's trying to do. He just powers through and then just decides if that may help him get unblocked.
That's like how you wrote our book. You'd always write the chapter
Yeah,
twice.
basically.
I always thought your writing
That's the way to
process
do it.
was interesting, but seems more efficient ultimately than mine. I would always outline ad nauseum, and then write once because I couldn't stand writing twice.
Yeah.
I was allergic to writing twice. I think your approach is better overall, though.
There were a lot of 100-page chapters to get 25 pages. Cool. All right. Well, I've actually got to run.
Okay, good
Uh-huh.
timing probably.
Did that-
This is a
Yeah.
good point for me to think.
Yes. Don't think too hard.
Oh, I will.
Nike, just do it, etc.
Yeah, that too. That's a good point. By the way, the talk, the little fake podcast thing that we did last time you joined me,
Uh-huh.
Kumiko's putting that into a podcast. I don't know if
Cool.
I don't know if it will land well, but might be fun. I'll put it out there.
Yeah.
See if we get any attention with it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me know.
Yep. All right. Tell everyone I said hi.
Cool. All right. Same. See ya.
Bye. Doug Turnbull, folks. Hmm. Alright, here's the things that must be done. Solve them in order. Week. Week. Alright, that's it. Screen changed. It's whenever I join Zoom. At least that's a clue. Wow, what's this doing? All right. Was it a good day? Got some thinking done, and I think thinking was the thing to do for today. I feel like I've established a line of things that have to be accomplished in order to prove out the Rook experiment. It's a lot of stuff, though. Well, we'll see what happens.